So just take a second just to get settled. Just arrive all the craziness from the day, from the week. Just get settled wherever you're at. And if you chose to play along on the playlist, you can go ahead and press play. And just start to kind of settle into your body, settle into your chair, your mat, your bolster, wherever you're at. And just start to connect with your breath. So breathing in through the nose and breathing out through the mouth in a sigh. Taking a couple rounds of that, just breathing in through the nose and sighing it out. And breathing in and sighing it out. Just settling into your own breath, noticing where it's at. Is it in your chest? Is it kind of in your rib cage? Is it in your belly? Is it hard or heavy or slow or shallow? Just get curious about how you're breathing. And taking a couple of breaths in through your nose and just kind of counting it out, maybe to a count of 3 or a count of 4. And breathing out through your nose with that same count. So in for 3 or 4 or 5. And breathing out through the nose, the same number. Just take a couple more rounds at this pace. And when you're present, you're in tune with your breath, just start to kind of come back into the room. And we're just going to start by raising our arms up over our head on the in-breath, interlacing the fingers and turning our palms to the sky, just stretching. Maybe you wiggle from side to side, or you take a back bend, whatever feels great and good to you. Bringing your arms down. Inhale your shoulders up to your ears. Just tensing them up, gathering up everything from the week. And exhale, just letting them relax all the way down. Just kind of flopping them down. Inhale, squeezing them up, gathering up all that tension. And exhale, releasing. One more time. Inhale, gathering them all the way up. And exhale, releasing. Inhale, just grow really tall. And exhale, just let your head droop down. You're just stretching out the back of your neck, tops of your shoulders. And inhale, bringing it back all the way up. Maybe you look back just a little bit. And exhale, letting it fall down. Inhale up. And exhale, release down. This time on the inhale, bring your right ear to your right shoulder. And then it comes all the way up. And on the exhale, bring your left ear to your left shoulder. And it comes all the way down. So we're just making some really easy circles with our neck and our breath. Exhaling as we start to come down. Inhale as we come up. Exhale down. And then switch directions. So inhale, coming up the other way. And exhale down. Inhale up. And exhale down. One last time. And when you exhale and come all the way down, just let your head hang for a second. And then inhale back to center. Inhale, arms come up. And exhale, twist to the left. So you're kind of coming around and maybe your hand comes to your knee to just kind of push you back a little bit more. And inhale back to center. And exhale, twist the other way. Inhale, center. Exhale, twist. And inhale, center. Exhale, twist the other way. And inhale, center. Exhale, twist. Inhale, center. And one last time. Twist on the exhale. And inhale to center. Your hands can come down into your lap. And then stretching your legs out in front. So they're just coming straight out. Just sitting like an L. So really getting your tailbone grounded. Active feet, which means you're not pointing like this. You're kind of a little bit of engagement. So they're pointing to the sky. It just kind of creates a little bit of a lift. And just feel tall. This might not feel like much, but think of how often we actually sit up straight during the day. This can feel really feel like, And on the exhale, just bend forward at the hips and come down as far as you want to. It might not be very far this early in the practice. Just take a couple breaths here as you release. Releasing all the tension in your low back and maybe your shoulders, your arms. Just kind of warming it up a little bit too. And on an inhale, coming back up. And bringing our feet together. So that's the soles of our feet to where they're touching. And they can be way out here. They can be up in here. Wherever you get a sensation kind of in your hip flexors. And just butterfly your knees a little bit. Staying with your breath. Just inhale. And exhale. And then coming back into an easy seat. So we're sitting crisscross applesauce or however you're sitting. Just take a second to kind of set an intention for today's practice. So today's just going to focus on balancing out all the chakras. It's a very balanced practice just to kind of get us back in alignment. And so my intention for all of you is just staying with your body, breathing through anything that you notice, letting your energy system kind of do the work for you. But whatever intention is coming up for you, however you want to show up today, however you want to be in your practice, just kind of get a picture of it or a feeling. And just breathe it out. And whenever you have that picture in your mind, just seal it with our hands over our heart center and just bow our head for a second, just honoring however you're going to show up for yourself today. And coming over onto our knees and pushing up to standing. Just taking a second to get grounded on our feet. So really just feeling the sensation of all four corners of our foot on the mat. So both sides of my heel, my big toe, my little toe. Just really feeling anchored, grounded, making my base as wide as I need to feel steady. And letting shoulders gently round back. Just taking a second to breathe. You can stay right here. If you don't have any hip or knee problems and you would like to start down at the root chakra, first off, this is doing everything you need because you're connected with the ground. But I'll invite you, if you want to just kind of calm down into a little squat. You could stop wherever you want to, or you can come all the way down into Malasana, which is just a deep squat. And just take a second wherever you're at, whether it's standing or in a squat. Just connect with your feet, with your core, with your first chakra, with your breath. If it feels like too much sensation, come up to a spot where it doesn't feel like it's keeping you from breathing. Breathing is the point. So if you need to come back up to here, come back up to here. And wherever you're at, on your next exhale, just coming back up to standing. And on an exhale, bringing your arms forward, hinging at the hips, and just a gentle forward fold. It could be here, bending your knees, just have your belly meet your thighs. It can be all the way down on the ground, but staying with your breath. And on an inhale, hinging back up, and arms come all the way up, and sitting back in a chair pose. Just a very, very gentle squat right there. And inhale, coming back up. And exhale, hands to heart center. Just checking in with your base, our root chakra. We think of our feet being associated with it. It's kind of down here, like a lower part of our torso. So just kind of connecting with that feeling, connecting with the sensation of feeling grounded. Wonderful. On your next breath, stepping out wide into our Wonder Woman pose. So if you're curious about this, our toes are pointing out diagonal. We got spread a little bit wider, hands on the hips, and just roll your shoulders back. Feel powerful. And on an exhale, hinging at the hips, folding forward. If you have a chair in front of you and you want to stop here, go for it. If you want to come down towards the ground, if you want to come all the way down, wherever you are feeling sensation. And exhale. And walking our fingers over to our right foot. On an inhale, let me get my breaths right. On an exhale, opening up our upper arm and letting it come back down. Inhale, opening up again. And exhale, releasing back down. Inhale, opening up. And exhale, releasing. And walking our fingers back to the middle. Just taking another forward fold. Again, you can chill like this. You can kind of have your fingers supporting you. You can be hanging all the way down. You can grab opposite elbows and kind of swing. Wherever you feel the sensation of release. And walking fingers over to the left foot. And on an inhale, opening up. And exhale, releasing down. Inhale, opening up. Exhale, releasing. Inhale, opening all the way up. And exhale, releasing. Walking our hands to the middle. Bringing hands to our hips. And on an exhale, hinging all the way up back into Wonder Woman. And stepping our feet together. And just checking in with our body, checking in with our center. Just noticing what kind of energy is flowing through, where you're feeling it. Beautiful. And on our next breath, the right foot, or whatever you want your front foot to be, is pointing forward. And step the back foot, it's kind of wide, but still so you have a good base. Step it out so that the toes are pointing this way. So it's kind of perpendicular. Front leg is just slightly bent. This is our warrior two. And just kind of put your hands on your hips and check your alignment. So kind of have that sensation of your back hip kind of coming forward, your front hip coming back. And when that feels stable, bring your arms up to a T and gaze strong over that front hand. And just breathe right here. We're not going to do anything fancy, no flows right here. We're just going to feel powerful. Really engaging that root, engaging our power center. And then bringing our feet to opposite sides. So I just walked that front foot straight, and now I'm going to walk this back foot so it's pointing this way. Bending that front knee just a little bit. Again, checking your hips. Back foot, back hip, the sensation of coming forward. Front hip, that sensation of going back. It's not going to be perfect. It's just a sensation. And when it feels good, bring your arms up to a T. And again, just gazing strong over that front hand. Just connecting with your breath and that feeling of power, feeling it flow through your energy system. And on an exhale, just kind of stepping your feet however you want to get there to where they're kind of together and in the center of the mat. And from here, getting grounded one more time. And slowly starting to put some weight on your right foot, bringing your left foot up and bringing it into your ankle. You can kickstand it right there, or your calf, or you can bring it up into your upper thigh, just not your knee. And what you're looking for is that point of balance. So find it, get stable there first. The sensation you're looking for is that foot pushing into your leg, but also your leg kind of pushing into your foot, creating that energy, that upward movement. And when you found your balance, you can start to grow your tree if you want to. Maybe feel a little bit of joy or delight or like exhilaration at being balanced. It can be your pleasure center. Embracing the wobble wherever you're at. Maybe even bringing it down if you need to kickstand a little bit and get some stability. And when that feels complete, bringing it down and shaking it out. And bringing some weight over into the left foot. Woo, when right foot comes up, again, your ankle, your calf, your thigh, just not your knee. Finding that point of balance where you feel steady, you feel stable. Embracing the wobble. If you wobble out, just come back in. And when you feel steady and good, you can start to grow your tree. I'm just looking for that point, that sensation of balance. Whew. Coming back in if you fall out of it. And when that feels complete, coming out of it and just dancing it out. Just take a second to check in, kind of see what's going on. And we're going to come on down to the ground. So inhale your arms up. Exhale, folding out your hips, your waist, coming all the way down to the ground. Knees stepping back. And just settling down wherever you want to. In hero's pose, easy pose, whatever fits for you. Let's take a second here to connect with your breath again. And when that feels good, coming all the way down to the mat to where we are kind of, on. You can stop right here if you have any hip problems and you don't want to go any further. You can just kind of chill here. You could take one leg down and maybe kind of cross your ankles. You're still getting a bit of a hip stretch there. If you want some more sensation coming down on your back, and taking one of your legs, crossing it over the other thigh. And right here, you might have enough sensation, or you might want to gently press on your left thigh to kind of just get a little bit more sensation in your hips. Or you might want to grab the opposite hamstring and pull it in. Stop wherever you are feeling the sensation you think you need today. And just breathing and releasing. And on an exhale, releasing your legs down. And wherever you're at, just taking a second to get readjusted and then switch opposite to the opposite side. Again, just pulling it into wherever you feel the sensation you would like today. Releasing, breathing, using the breath to push energy through any blocks there. And on an exhale, releasing that down as well. And at this point, some options. You can stay right here. Again, staying with your breath is exactly what we need to do today. If you'd like some more sensation in your hips, coming back up to seated and kind of doing a seated tree. So bringing one leg into your thigh there, and on an exhale, bending over the extended leg. It's just some more release in our hips, some more sensation. Again, you listen to your body, and if it doesn't want this, then stay with the breath. Just breathing in and breathing out. And wherever you're at, just releasing, sinking more into whatever you've chosen today for your body. Staying with this for 3 more breaths wherever you're at. And coming back up to center. And switching legs. Again, if you're on the ground, stay right there wherever you're at today in your practice. And on an exhale, if you're here, bending over the stretched out leg. Just releasing. And staying with your own breath. And with this for 3 more breaths. Whenever you've completed your 3 breaths, just coming back up to center. And one last invitation related to the hips. You can kind of bring your legs out like a V if that feels right to you. If it doesn't, don't do it. And if it feels right in your body, just bending over a little bit in the middle. That sensation of your spine just stretching out, using every limb to just send energy outward, just kind of discharging whatever you need to. It might be kind of upright, it might be melting all the way down to the floor, whatever your body wants to do, go for it. And just staying with your breath, not pushing yourself to the point where you lose your breath. This is just another way to shape our body, to support our breath, to help our energetic system. It all links together, it all has a purpose. Same with this for 3 more breaths. And when your 3 breaths are complete, on an exhale, just coming back up to center. And leaving one foot pointed forward. I'm just going to take this other leg and bend it, and then cross it over. You might cross it over here, that's fine. You might bring it in a little bit more for a little more of a twist, whatever you want. But using your, see, this is my left foot that's extended, so my left hand, I would just kind of use it to kind of propel me into a twist on this other side. And just looking over that back shoulder. Just feeling a twist in your spine. Think about some of these upper chakras, how they're kind of all along our spine, and this is just another way to kind of move through some of the energy blocks. Same with this for, 3 more breaths. If you notice your breath's a little more shallow here, that makes sense because you're kind of compressing your diaphragm. So don't judge that. But as you come back around to the middle, just take a big breath. And then switching legs. And so this is my right leg extended, so I'm going to take my right hand, my right elbow, and use that to help kind of propel me around into a twist, looking over my back shoulder. Staying with this for a couple more breaths. And on an exhale, coming back to center. And again, just taking a big breath here. Now I'll invite you to some of my favorites. So you ever just want to like lay down on a couch and just kind of on your belly and just get grounded, not move. This is actually an asana reverse corpse pose. So you can totally just pillow your cheeks on your hands for a second if you want to. Just stay with your breath. And then when that feels nice and snuggly and good, I want you to consider bringing your left hand down to your left shoulder. So it's on the ground here. I'm pressing against the floor by my left shoulder. My right hand by my right shoulder. So I kind of get both my hands here on the ground. And just pushing my chest up ever so slightly, not all the way. Notice my elbows are still bent. But maybe I come up just a little bit more and I open my heart. Really kind of imagining my chest leading, my heart leading into the world. And I release back down to the ground. I take a breath here. And on my next exhale, just pressing back up. Thinking about this is opening up my solar plexus chakra, my heart chakra, even my throat chakra, if I'm kind of opening up that whole upper body. And releasing back down. Taking a breath. We're going to do it one last time. So on an exhale, just pushing up. Again, you're just opening your heart. You're opening all those upper chakras. Creating a pathway for your brain and your body to meet. And exhale back down into reverse corpse pose. So just pillowing your cheek on your hands for another second and just smiling to yourself, thinking about what it feels like to kind of lead with your heart there. And when that feels good and complete and you're ready, pushing back up, but this time just kind of pushing up onto all fours. So knees are under hips, wrists are under shoulders. We're just going to do some cat-cows. So remember, on an inhale, we lift with our chest, with our heart, our head comes up. And exhale, we round over, rounding through our shoulders, really just stretching everything out back there. You can even wiggle around a little bit. This is a good place to wiggle your hips if it feels right. And just stay with your own breath, where the inhale is where your heart lifts, and the exhale is where you round. Inhale, lifting, and exhale, rounding on your own breath. If you imagine your energy as it flows up that spinal column, think about what this is doing to so many of your chakras. It's just kind of moving everything through. Just take 2 more rounds wherever you're at. And coming back to center. And widen your knees ever so slightly. So I widen mine all the way to the edge of the mat because that's just what feels good in my hips. And just gently push back into a child's pose. That's where our seat comes down to our heels. We can stop right here. If you want to bring your head down onto your hands, you can do that. I'm just resting for a second. This is technically an inversion, so even though it doesn't feel like it, we're getting some of those same benefits we would with down dog or headstands. And taking a couple more breaths here. And on an exhale, coming back to tabletop. Bring your knees back in, settling back into hero, which is where we're just kind of sitting back on our heels. If this doesn't feel good, grab a bolster, or you can hang out easy seat, whatever you want to do. And I'll invite you, if you're here, to really roll your shoulders back, growing tall, and bringing your left hand to your left, like the low back, so your fingers are pointing down and your elbows kind of coming in towards the midline. Same thing with your right hand. Bringing it back, fingers pointed down. Imagine that sensation of your elbows kind of going towards one another. And open up your chest on the exhale. This is where we're working on our way to camel's pose. You can hang out right here and just open your chest, your heart up. And if you want some more sensation, you can let your left hand come down to your left foot, right hand to right foot, and really open up your chest. Let your head come back. And on an exhale, coming back to center from wherever you were. And making our way down as we move closer to Shavasana, just coming back on your seat. Laying down on your back, knees bent. And just take stock right here. Really imagine that feeling of your energetic system that starts at your tailbone and works its way all the way through the crown of your head. So we've opened up so much all the way really to about here. So we're going to use this next series of asana to really kind of push the rest of it through the top of our head and out into our universe. So just getting grounded for a second. And on an exhale, with your feet on the ground, your hips come up into a bridge. And release. And we're going to come back up into bridge. And release. And I messed up the breathing pattern. So inhale, we come up. And exhale, we release down to the ground. Inhale, coming up. Exhale, release to the ground. I'm just going to do one more. Inhale, up. And exhale, release down to the ground. And hugging our knees into our chest. Just to do the opposite action of what we just did. Maybe roll around, massage your low back on the ground. And now we're going to take our one restorative pose. So find a wall or a chair or a couch to get up against. And I'm going to do it here to kind of demonstrate what it would look like with a couch or a chair. Just coming up against something and scooting up to it and putting your legs over it. So if your chair is right here, your legs will just be coming over here. If you're on a wall, they might be straight up against the wall. But just really letting everything we stirred up kind of flow down into our center so our energy and our breath can do its job to rebalance, discharge, release. We're going to hang out here for a full minute. And just taking a couple more breaths. And coming back down. Maybe you roll over to the side if that feels good to get you down. whatever you need to kind of come back to the mat. And along the way, just grabbing whatever you might need for Shavasana. If you need a pillow, you need a blanket, you need a bolster, whatever you might need, eye mask, anything that helps you to really settle down into this final rest of our practice as we kind of integrate everything and get our body ready to re-enter the world. So just kind of grab what you need, take stock of what's going on in your body, and I'll invite you to start from the bottom, working all the way up. So just noticing the sensations lower in your chakra system, all the way up through your torso, through your heart, your throat, through your third eye, and out your crown. And just really visualize that alignment that we've created through these different movements in the breath. And taking one final breath, letting your eyes drift close. Just gently relax into Shavasana. And beginning to bring just a little bit of awareness back into your body, coming back into this plane of existence. So start to wiggle your fingers and your toes. Maybe taking some deeper breaths or noticing your breath is deepening on its own. And just rolling over onto your favorite side, keeping your eyes closed and just pulling your knees in. Like the pose we entered the world into. Just taking a second to just feel whatever you need to feel right now. And on an exhale, just pushing yourself up to seated. Either keeping your eyes closed or just maintaining a soft gaze. And just take a second just to be, just to receive, to not do anything, just to be present. And I'll invite you, as if you choose, as one last thing to kind of create that balance, that centeredness through all of our chakras. Just do some tapping with me. So thinking of a couple of things that you either really need to hear or you need to feel, some statements that just go with this feeling of alignment. So for me, that might be, I'm calm, I'm safe, things around that. And just as you say them to yourselves, bringing your fingers up to your third eye and just tapping as you say that, breathing. And then bringing your hands, your fingers around your temples, and just tapping here as you say whatever you need to hear, feel. And bringing them down to your cheekbones under your eye sockets, tapping there, same thing. The bow between your lips and your nose. And your chin. And just under your collarbone, kind of the top part of your pecs. And then squeezing each wrist gently. Breathing in through your nose. And lion's breath it out. So sticking your tongue out and breathing in through your nose. And lion's breath. One more time. Inhale, arms come up. And exhale, hands to heart center and bow your head. And the badass in me bows with deep, deep gratitude to the badass in you. We are one. Namaste.